just have to see you live the legacy.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you better. Now
You gotta live the legacy.
In Chicago, so I ended up selling drugs, and I was paying the bills. I was taking care of.
So I know it's excited. I know parents are excited.
Are you sure that you heard me when I was talking to you, Lord? Because in order for me to be able
Good morning. I was just getting ready to give my sister a shout out. Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Sissy. Good morning, Yolande. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm excited this morning. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Welcome to
yeah.
another segment of Early Morning Coffee with Marvina and her BFFE Fun, where we give a voice to the voiceless and we let you say what is on your mind. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm excited. I'm a little tired, of course, again, because, I work at night and it's hard for me to come home and go straight to bed. So my BFF told me about this movie that was on Netflix called, what was the name of that movie? Switch.
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 Yeah.
Oh my
Switch.
God, I got on there and watched it last night.
I told you. I told you.
Let me
We're not
tell
gonna give
y'all,
away any
Tyler,
spoilers.
Tyler did that one, baby. He did a
Yeah.
wonderful job on this one. I'm telling you, y'all got some Netflix. Go ahead on to get on there and watch it because let me tell you, it was, oh my God,
It's not your
that
typical Tyler, so I'm
no, it's not.
telling
No, no, it's typical stuff,
you.
boy. And I was like, wow. I was trying to
Yeah.
turn it off. I said, I'm just gonna watch some of it. And normally, when I'm watching a movie, I make mistake and go to sleep on it. I'll be like, did it? I doze off. I'll wake up and it'd be like the mid part. I'll take it back. But last night when I got in this movie, Yvonne,
From
when I say
beginning
it was,
to end,
yep,
you were captivated.
I
Like
was in, baby. I was
he did
in.
that.
They did
Yeah.
that. They did that, baby. So let me
Yes.
tell y'all, whoever got Netflix, go on and watch that movie. Anyways, of course, I got me
Mm.
some coffee this morning. I gotta wake up. Today is the wake up day. And I ain't got no Folgers either. I got that leading brand, great value from Walmart. I have some creamer, which is some basic original creamer. And guess what, y'all? I ain't got no sugar. I ain't got no substitute. And only 2 packs. I normally put about 4 of them in
What?
there, but I only put 2 packs in. I'm trying to work on this sugar thing. This sugar thing is really getting me. I mean, I be craving it. It's like I'm at work. I'm like, I want a Snicker bar. And I get mean. I didn't think that commercial was
Like that
true. I'm
commercial.
like, I be walking like I want a Snicker bar. But you know what? I said, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna stop eating all this sugar, as much sugar. I'm gonna continue to try to work on. It's just an ego thing, as far as I'm concerned. Be telling me that I need it, I want it. I'm going. You gotta have it. I'm dealing with the spirit right now, and he telling me I don't need it, I don't want it, and I don't have it. So anyway, let me present to some and introduce to others my BFFFFFO ever eat fine. Go ahead,
Good,
girl.
good morning, good morning, good morning. What's in the bag, family? And so let me start off this morning. you know, I'm drinking from my Falcons cup. We're in June, so football season is right around the corner. Right around the corner, and you know me, I'm so excited.
I don't
I
like
start
football
preparing
season.
myself. We're not listening to her. I start preparing myself. I saw some little pillows and blankets because when games kick off, I have on everything: hat, top, shoes, pajamas, you name it. I got it, and I am all in. Don't call me right before the game start. Don't call me to the game end because you won't get answered. So
Not at all.
so I am ready. I am ready. And then I'm up and
What
I'm
is that?
excited. I got up this morning and got to moving and grooving, and I'm cutting my time down. I'm learning to be a little bit more fast, stay on task, and get it together so I can be on time for what's in the bag and be ready to walk out the door for some baseball. So I'm gonna be sitting out in the sun today with some shade. I'm gonna have some shade. Gotta protect myself. It's gonna be for baseball the whole weekend. Whew, but thank the Lord. It's only one grandson game I got to go to, so I don't have to try and run to multiple parks in one day. Because baby, when I tell you I was wore out last week, I could barely move by the time I made it home. But I one what I'm not willing to do for the other. So, but in my coffee, I am drinking. As everybody know, I am drinking some. I'm still drinking on that coffee I got from Target. That's how big that box was that I got from Target. But it is some good coffee. I have some zero sugar um, French vanilla, and I'm using equal. I can't do the sugars, and it seems like once I walked away from the sugar, it's hard for me to even incorporate sugar back into my diet. It tastes weird. So, but I'm glad that you on that because I'm not gonna put your business out there. But what you told me about the number of packs of sugar the other day, I was like, all I could say was damn.
No, let me tell
Because it
you.
was a lot.
So right next, I have a problem. I'm naked and not ashamed. Right next to where I work in my bathroom, there's a Starbucks, and the Starbucks had. I go over there sometimes and every day, not sometimes every day, and I go get a large thing of Starbucks coffee. And I put 6 packs, no, 12 packs of sugar
12.
in it. 12, because it's large. So I want it to be real, real sweet. So, that's the way I kicked off my day, drink me some coffee or in the middle of the time when I start getting sleepy. But I realized something about me that, is weird that around certain time of the day, about 5 o'clock, I think about five, I start getting sleepy and I'll
Hmm.
need something to perk me up. So I go get me a cup of coffee and a Red Bull energy drink.
With all that sugar and all that caffeine, like, wow.
And by that
So,
time, I'll be
woo.
like, ching, 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 ching. Them folks be like, excuse me,
Let me
ma'am,
tell you something. She's
where
not
you get
lying.
all that energy from? I said, it's natural.
She is not
You drink
lying.
that.
She is not lying. One day she had sugar and all this kind of stuff going on. When I tell you, I have never seen somebody wash, fold, clean, and do all this kind of stuff so quickly. I was sitting there amazed because I know it's not me. That's not something that I can do. But she was on it and had dinner done.
And dinner done. Wash,
And
clean,
dinner done.
dinner, everything. Well, I mean, I'm at naturally energy anyway, so it just makes it worse
Yeah.
when I drink coffee. But anyway,
Mhm.
BFF, we are ready at our time fact. We gonna go ahead on and we're gonna start introducing our guests, okay?
Okay.
I'm excited about this segment again because this is a part two of last week. We literally did some uh we learned a lot about I'm gonna say this. A lot of people don't understand when they have a downfall. There's something in their lives where they feel like there's an issue. But this young man, he only went and if you will recap on last week, it says he went to prison and then he came out of prison and he didn't use that as, oh, woe me, or there's an issue. He used that as something to build on. And I'm excited because not only this time, we're going to see his building of not through just voice of his own, but he's able to demonstrate on this segment where he's at and what he's been doing. So I don't want to give out his bag because it's, I don't want everybody to. I don't really know all about his bag, but this is all of us learning right now about his bag and what he's doing, and I'm excited about it. But right after this we're gonna have a little capture, little of what he said last week. I want y'all
Mhm.
to go ahead on and give my guest another hand.
And she would say, in order to know where we are, we must journey back to where we begin to see
Come on now.
clearly
Mm,
where we are in order to see where we are going. And
Yeah.
so I use
mm,
that same
mm,
theology, if you will, to go back to the purpose of man, why God created us, which is to represent Him, to govern over the work of His hands. And so we start there with biblical manhood and fatherhood versus returning back to survival mode. And
mm.
I go in and I could talk about what I do, but it's actually an iron and sharpening iron situation, because there's brothers in there that are pillars in the community, like my
Mm.
brother Zach, who introduced me to you all. He was a discipler of me when I was in prison, right?
Wow.
And then we reconnected once he returned back to the community, it's always a learning experience, because the brothers are sitting on the edge of their seat, ready to eat everything that's brought before them, but also they able to hold you accountable to what you say you believe and why you believe it.
Right,
So they're gonna push
right.
back. Supposed to be preparation for it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, y'all live.
Oh, we
Hello.
live?
Welcome in.
You didn't know we was live? What up?
Hello. Welcome in.
You chopping
Good
it down.
morning. Yes, you are live. You are live.
That's
I know
right.
y'all was in that background just chit chatting. I'm looking at y'all like they just chit. They don't even know they live. Welcome, 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 y'all. I'm
It's good
excited
to be
about
here.
this segment. We're doing something a little different. Before we get going, I just got to ask the question. I'm going to take y'all one by one. Uh, Mr. Woods, Frank Woods, can you tell me what you got up in that cup?
Oh, 100% Colombian. A little bit of change the creamer, a little bit of Irish cream. Of course, I'm like sis. I've been off the sugar for many years, as my wife, late wife, was a type 1 diabetic. So we've been on substitute sugar for over 20 years. So I got a little bit of sweetener in there, and that's about it. Tall
All
cup.
right. How
Tall
about you,
cup. That's
Brother
what I'm talking
Terrence? What you got up in that cup or that bottle?
What we should all be drinking water.
about. All right, that H2O.
H2O, baby. And Brother Daryl?
I am drinking ginseng 5 treasure tea.
That's what I'm talking about. All the
Mm.
healthy stuff. Y'all some
Black.
healthy brothers up in there. And let me say his name right. Is it Dalton?
Dante.
Dante.
Dante. I done messed that up.
Yeah.
Dante. Hey, little nephew. How are
Hey,
you? What
hang
you
it.
got in your cup? You got a cup of something?
No, not right now, but I was drinking
Oh,
house.
you ain't.
He said he was drinking house blend.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was playing.
Dante
Yes.
said he finished. All right, so I'm getting ready to give y'all the floor. Brother Woods, come on now. What's in your bag, boy? Let's go on it. What's in your
I can
bag?
say the bag is full, and often, I remind anyone that I'm speaking to, I'm all about discipleship, and one of the things about discipleship is that, as God is leading me to train up others in the faith, first and foremost, I bring the groceries, and the groceries I bring is the true and living God and what He's done for me as a testimony, and not that He's a respecter of persons, but that He can do the same for you. So, what's in my bag? Discipleship, speaking before men, allowing men to see that even with felonies, even with a turner's background, you still have an opportunity to be successful in life. Utilizing it as a springboard, to be the witness that it could happen, that you could turn it around, and that you have other options than returning back to that lifestyle that puts you in the bottom of the valley, so to speak. And so that's my thing. And with that new mindset, God allowed me to take the reins and inherit this wonderful ministry that started out as a mentorship focused on the prison demographic, and that led to me adding on a housing component, which we're now sitting
Wow.
in, called
Wow.
Genesis Lighthouse, based on the model of the lighthouses that set on the bluff to guide ships safely through storms, that they might dock on the shores wherever their destination was. And I took that concept and thought about how there are many returning back home from prison and home from a rough path in life. And they just need, they just need illumination that they might dock safely home. And so we want to be that voice saying, "Come this way. There's life in abundance this way." And so that's what God has placed on our heart. And and just as a recap, it's all signed up in the need for discipleship, learning what God has done for us, coming into one's identity, and then pledging allegiance to what God is doing above what we thought our agendas might be or our aspirations might be. We pledge allegiance to God. So the need for discipleship above positive mindsets, because positive mindsets work for a season, but then when the rug gets snatched from under you, we return back to survival mode. Those things that we did, whether it was good or bad, to survive, and that's
Right.
usually how we get ourselves in a rut and in a hard place. And so essentially, we want to be the solution to prevent and even deter individuals from returning back to that old lifestyle that caused the community to be in disarray, families to
Wow.
be toxic and dysfunctional, and children to be without parents, and mainly fathers, but then also centralizing on the problem becoming a solution, understanding that you can turn it around and then come in and meet someone where they are, maybe even on the path that you was on, and say that there's another way, there's a better way, there's a way to have a legacy, there's a way to have an impact where you are in your vicinity. And then lastly, uh, that all being birthed out of centering our hearts on God's word, where He revealed to us by His Spirit that His plan in history, in human history, is to redeem creation from its fallen state, based on man's choice, right? Based on man's choice to
Mhm.
rebel against God. God says that because His purpose was that man would be His representative, His will now is to redeem creation, utilizing the man that rebelled to begin with. So He utilized the problem and turned it around that He might become the solution. So that's what's in my bag.
Mm.
Wow. So let's talk. Let tell me some more. So where's these brothers coming in at? If you don't mind introducing them and allowing them
Absolutely.
to empty their bags.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first, we have y'all met him last week. We're gonna start. I'll start with my son. So my son Dante, he's my third son. I have six children, five boys, one daughter. My daughter passed in 2014 untimely
Wow.
from a day surgery. His big sister, but
Mm.
he's my third son. I'm the third son, and he's my third son. So I call him my
Wow.
lieutenant. He's my humble beast. He don't say a lot, but what he do say is very impactful. So we definitely zoom in and tune our ears up to hear the wisdom that God will share through him once he do speak. But he's very um, quiet, but he's also the chief keeper here at the lighthouse. He lives in the apartment upstairs, and he is my ears and eyes when I can't be here. So
Mm.
this
Wow.
Dante was my third son.
Wow. Come on, Dante. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good. Nothing much. Uh, yeah, just happy to be here.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I got Daryl. He's a light keeper. He lives here. We're actually in the apartment that he lives in. And Daryl Tucker is a brother that entered in about a year ago.
Oh, 23.
23. Wow. Okay.
November 23.
So go ahead. This brother right here is great at adding some character to the house, if you will. And he's also here with the other brother, Anthony Lee, who's still uh, hospitalized right now. We praying for him, and we actually praying
Mm.
for him. We had a scare for a minute. They thought he had cancer. Then it came back and said that it wasn't cancer, but it was just an
Wonderful.
infection that he had, and so he's still in the hospital right now. So he resides here with Mr. Tucker, and then I have Terrence Williams, who will be entering into the lighthouse pretty soon here as he get the opportunity. So these are the
Wow.
brothers that I've been working with amongst the other brothers once I return back to prison. So absolutely.
So what okay, so what do we hear in this atmosphere of what parts and roles do they play to you know uh
Within the lighthouse.
within the lighthouse?
So as a light keeper, his role is to be a member of the program, and he was just telling me we have this box in front of our lighthouse that because again the community is heavily populated with the homeless. To the south of us, we have a shelter, and then also to the north of us, we have a shelter. So we have a lot of people that's homeless, a lot of people dealing with drug addiction and alcoholism, and so we try to put out there, the little gifts. We can whatever we can fit up in this little donation box, we put it out there, and they'll come and partake of it. And then again, we want to also serve them as we can in the summer through a lunch and sharing summer clothes and the same in the wintertime. So he's a part of keeping that going. But essentially, his job is to continue the process of discipleship. So we get together, we do
Mm.
biblical studies, and he's the guy that's interacting, if you will, with those that are in the community. Right, that's just the role. That's just it. He was telling me that the things that he's putting out there, the gifts that we've received through brothers and sisters that have come alongside to support us, they've already went through that stuff, and so they check it daily to see what's in there. We have everything from Bibles to we had scarves, hats, gloves.
Wow.
We had what was the stuff we just put in there?
Hygiene products.
Hygiene products is a big one.
Wow.
Male and female.
Yep, male and female hygiene products. Man, we've had shoes in there. I put a pair of Jordans in there one day and came back, them boys was gone. They're like in less than 5 minutes. So we do everything, and we just want to be here. The proximity is important, right? And so that's what it's just about, just being here and being a voice that someone could talk to, or even just the ear, because sometimes people got stuff on their heart. They just want to have your ear
Right.
and just pour out
Right.
their heart, right? And so sometimes you got to be a sounding board. And so that's his role here, just to be present here in the community. And then right across the street from the lighthouse, there's a minimum prison that's across the street. And what the minimum security prison is just individuals that have done a lot of time, and now they've made it down to that minimum security level, and we'll
Wow.
be returning back to the community. But I say that because that's a reminder of what God has done when He placed before us right at the beginning of our salvation, that it's a choice. It was man's choice to
Mm.
rebel, right? And so even now,
Hmm.
God is saying, choose life. And we have a physical depiction of that with the lighthouse being here, and then just to the west or right across the street, prison.
Yeah.
Death is death is just separation. We experience
Right.
that being locked up, separated from society, separated from family and loved ones. And so it's
Right.
a physical
And coming
depiction to
back into
remind us
society.
to continue to choose,
Hmm.
because sanctification and discipleship is about making that choice on a daily basis, right? It ain't just a
Right.
Right.
one-time decision, but it's an everyday decision to choose the right way, right? And that's his role
Right.
here, just to be a representative of the kingdom, not necessarily the ministry, but the kingdom. We want to draw
Mm.
Right.
people to the Lord, that they too might receive what we have received freely. So that's his
Yes.
role. And then my son's role is just to be here and live on site with the men and even be my representative, right? Because I don't live here, and that's one of the stipulations as well. Like as I lead the first leg of the ministry, they have policies in prisons that don't allow this sort of thing to happen unless you
Mm.
have a staff that can be here, and that's his role to be my representative here on the property, so that
Love it.
continue to
Mm.
lead the first leg of the ministry, which is the in prison mentorship, where we focus again on biblical manhood, biblical fatherhood. We've been doing that now since 2008, and God's
Wow.
still blessing us. I'm on hiatus right now, so I can do
Yeah.
this,
Right.
but I will be returning. I'm thinking.
Mhm.
I wanted to come back before the year was out, but I'm thinking because I'm still in transition in my personal life with the house and everything. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna go to the end of the year and probably return back in 2026. God say the same, but
Yeah.
that's his role, just to be here, to be a part of and mix it up with the men here, and just be my representative, you know. Um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Can I
our
ask Terrence a question since he said he's been in 2023? So what so far have you gotten out of it? I mean, I know there's a lot you probably, you know, if you don't mind talking about what got you there, got you to this point and what you're getting out of it so far.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be me.
Oh,
yeah.
Daryl, that's Daryl. I'm sorry, that's
Daryl.
Daryl. Daryl.
Come
Sorry,
back.
Daryl. That's Daryl. I'm still
Yes.
learning names, y'all.
Well, and oh, let me move a little closer. In 2023, when I got out, what appealed to me was that this is a transitional living establishment, but it isn't connected to the DOC. It is outside of the DOC, and it is working in conjunction and with the DOC for brothers like me. I just completed 22 years in prison, and I had just got out. And this is the first place I've been, and the only place I've been since I've been out. And I got
Wow.
out and I was going through the frustration of a background that was 20 years ago, and I had no experience in the things that they wanted me to. They 5 years, this, that, and I
Mhm.
couldn't pay the rent, and they let me stay here for 4 months until I got myself together.
Wow.
And God blessed me with a job. He blessed me with a wife. He blessed me with all the means I need to move on and move forward in my life. And it
Mm.
all happened right here. And one
Wow.
of the things that
Wow.
it has done for me is allowed me to, I'm not afraid to testify. I
Mhm.
don't think I've ever been while I was inside the system, but it takes some
Right.
guts to get out of the system. And
Mm.
being
Right.
here and being in the midst of people that's worse off than me, it made
Wow.
me understand that, listen, I can't be scared to tell them what they need to know because I know
Right.
this already. I get to walk
Yes.
out on
Right.
that porch every day and I get to look across the street and say, I'm not going back.
Come on, brother Daryl.
Right.
I'm not going back up in there. And I see them walking down the street, and they Frank and the rest of uh, uh, um, the people that run
My board.
the board they bring a lot of stuff for me to put out to be donated, and a
Oh, you
lot of
talking about supporters?
the supporters, right?
Right?
And they bring boxes and boxes and bottles of water and this and that, and I set this stuff out, and it allows me to get to know one or two of the people that's around here.
Right.
And
Mm.
Giving back.
let me give you a for instance. There's a guy that stops on this corner at 5 o'clock in the morning. He is cussing somebody out way there all day long. You know who I'm talking about? He is always there. He's like 6'6", mean looking gentleman. Yep.
Heavy set.
Yep. He's really heavy set. And one day he was walking across the street. He stopped over there and he was cussing somebody out. And I had a fresh bottle of water. I just walked up to him, didn't say a word, and I said, "There you go." The whole expression on his face changed. He stopped
Mm.
talking to whoever he was talking to, and he said, "Thank you."
Wow.
Wow.
And it changed my life and my perspective.
Mm.
That changed the way I think about these people, and I know there's
Mm.
something in there that God got a hold of.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on
I
now.
got them
Yes.
somewhere.
Mhm.
And that little moment right there allowed me to know that it's okay to say, "Hey, brother, how you doing this morning? Can I get you something?"
Yes, sir.
That's right. Yes. Come on now.
Or don't forget to look in the word.
Yes.
don't forget to look at the birdhouse. I put some stuff out there for y'all. So if you tell your friends down there too around the corner that there's some stuff in there for y'all. So
He said the bird out. That's it, though. That's it.
and so, I became I was already outgoing and I was an extrovert in the beginning.
Take your time.
But now I am able to spread the news with joy and be honest about where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And
Love
I
it.
express to them where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love it. Good
That's
Come
morning.
on now. Wow. Wow.
what I'm
Wow.
doing now. So, but
I have a
let me just say this. I will be leaving this house because, as I stated just a few minutes
Take
ago,
your
I
time.
am getting married.
That's right.
All
And my
right. Congratulations. And it's his
Congratulations.
birthday.
Yes.
next week, June 14th,
Yes, sir.
All right then.
I'll be married.
That's your transition out.
That's my
Wow.
And
transition.
this
That's
is
your transition
one of the
out.
things
Wow.
that we've talked about, starting with the men, and not forsaking the women. It's the men that God starts with, and then he begins to create the citadel of his kingdom on planet Earth. And so I want to bring Terrence in because he was part of that format where we are talking
Mm.
to men and reshaping men's mind as it pertains to the divine design for man being generic for male and female. And so again, starting with biblical manhood, which actually spills over into husbandry and fatherhood and servanthood, right, and
Wow.
sonship. And so let's just talk a little bit about like the Malachi Dad
Yes.
and just that whole, environment and the interaction. Because you know how I used to say about like coming in with the groceries, but it's discipleship. But I'm not the discipler. I'm just the one that's bringing in the groceries, and then you guys feed the flock. Just talk a little bit about Malachi Dads and the brothers, and just bring them into the, if you will, into the inside out, which is what
Come
you're.
on in. I can't see you. Bring on in. Come on in a little more. There you go.
Good morning, sister.
There you go. Good
So
Good
morning.
morning.
when I was incarcerated, we had a program called Malachi Dads, which is a program actually for fathers. Is how it's like the first book's called the Heart of a Father. But when we got there, it was actually more like a Bible study. And the first thing I noticed was that Frank was black. And I think sometimes the scary thing is like not knowing that people that look like me can succeed. That was one of the
Mm.
Mm.
biggest helps. And then finding out that I got to prison and I don't my father figure situation was very damaged. Uh, and I met a guy named Dewan Nash who had life for killing somebody. And he had
Wow.
took me to his wing. We had Bible study every morning. He taught me how to shave. We worked out together. Um, it became life on life. He taught me about being a man. And I had been in the world for 23 years and had never learned anything of these things. I never learned about God. I never learned how to shave. I never learned how to have integrity,
Wow.
keep my word. And it became very evident to me that this man that was serving life in prison had something that I was missing. I had
Mm.
went to
Wow.
church, I went to all the conferences and all the things, but had missed Jesus and all of that somehow. I had missed
Wow.
knowing Christ and Him crucified, and like that's it's become like my mantra. I've determined to know nothing else but Christ and Him crucified. I think amongst all the things and all the stuff, the conferences, the Bible
Wow.
studies, the events, it's like people miss Jesus. And I think that's
Yes.
allowed that young man, Dewan Nash, who had life and had no reason to sow into my life or to be selfless, spending his canteen money on me when I was doing things I wasn't supposed to,
Wow.
gambling all my canteen away, and he's still making sure I had food to eat. I think that's what allowed his heart to be so, you know, flesh, so soft, was the fact that Jesus had actually changed him.
Mm.
Wow.
And coming home, one thing that kind of scared me was like it was cold. It was like people were very indifferent uh, to like the things of God, to empathy. They were just self, 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 self. How can I get this? How can I do
Wow.
this? And I had just came home and the people were calling me, asking me for stuff, and I was giving it to them. But that's what I noticed right away. Was like, man, it's cold out here. Like there's no love. To the point
Mm.
where I wanted to go
Mhm.
back. Like I was like, man, I'd rather be with
Wow.
the Christians that's locked up, that's living this thing out. So then I ran into Frank, another brother named Rob, another brother named Rich, and it was like God was like, man, I still have soldiers. I have a remnant don't be discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as many as you thought it was gonna be.
Wow.
Wow.
And then I would stay there because I want to ask a question
Wow.
because we were talking about this morning about the importance of like interpersonal relationship, which is what discipleship is. And remember, we were talking about how everybody has gotten so comfortable with not going to the physical structure or the physical building
Mm-hmm.
fellowship, and even will rather stay home and watch a preaching or teaching on the internet, right? And we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, you sent the text to me last night before I went to bed. You were saying like, man, it's so essential to have that, one-on-one life on life type of relationship because
Mm-hmm.
find a great preacher on the internet, right? But you don't know him. He could be saying one thing
Right.
another way. And so
Yes.
discipleship is actually modeling how to pledge allegiance to the King of Heaven daily through our choices.
Love it.
Remember, we're talking about that because I think that's what's missing, right? And so just the importance of all of that, because one of the things when he talks about Nash was a brother that was serious from the jump. Like he just came in to be a part of the interaction in the classroom. But he was one of the pillars. I call them the pillars that was in there because we're trained through the orientation to not appoint anyone to a leadership position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But naturally you could see individuals who have that natural calling of leadership, and he was one of
Wow.
them that took
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
serious. And then through talking with a brother after my Angola trip that I talked about last time, I was talking with one of my Caucasian siblings. That's what I call them, my brothers. And
Okay. Love it.
he had some pull, you know what I mean? And the brother said that they were thinking about doing exactly what they did in Angola, which was they're allowing guys to go through seminary who are called into the faith that are doing time that, and a lot of these guys got life. And
Mm.
they brought that program from Angola, and they created one here in Wisconsin. And Nash was a guy who I had walked with for about 5 years. We're right along with Chance, and I was telling him, I said, man, Nash, you're so on fire for the Lord. Like, man, you need to go ahead and go to this seminary. And so the kicker was that he had to leave this medium security prison to go to a maximum prison
Wow.
to go through
Wow.
this seminary. And he was like, man, I don't know if I want to go back that way. And I'm like, man, you got to sacrifice, bro. And then he tried it, but he had waited too long and the time elapsed. So he wasn't able to get in right away. And so I had a guy that was the foundation of starting that program that I would meet with uh, once a month. And I was telling him, like, man, brother, I got this brother that's on fire, man, and he needs to get up in there. And that brother went and got him in there. So he
Wow.
went through the program
Wow.
and graduated. And so he has a degree now in theology. So it's just, and so that
That's what
whole
I'm talking about.
that whole dynamic of working with brothers inside for the sole purpose of not just going inside, but I want to see these brothers come out.
Yes.
Exactly.
Wow.
Do
And not
good when
just
they
come
get
out
out
with
there.
positive
Yes.
Exactly.
mindset, right? Not just come out with
That's
positive
right.
mindsets, but come out transformed. Where Christ has put
Right.
us on, and now He's in these cities
Yes.
and locations. So that's what our heart is, man. And we are on fire to bring forth His presence. We're not saying that the trials and tribulations ain't gonna go away, but when we go through
Right.
the text and use the scriptures as a grid, we realize that the suffering is the very thing that shapes us into the image
That's
that
right.
God might be reflected and
That's right.
demonstrated
Right.
through in and through our life. So that Malachi Dash course that was given to me from the brothers that are doing life in Angola, they honed in on that last scripture in the book of Malachi at the end of the Old Testament that says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming
Yes.
great and
Mm-hmm.
dreadful day of the Lord. And he, not positive thinking, not a job, not all of this stuff that we chase in that bag. He said,
Yes.
God, will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the heart of the children to the fathers. He said He's going to do that. But it also takes our transformed mindset to choose to live right. Because then
Mm-hmm.
into the morning, He said, lest or unless I come and strike the earth with a curse. That's a warning. I
Mm.
said
Yes,
you
it
the
is.
opportunity
Yes, it
to
is.
choose life or death.
That's right.
I
See,
choose
he gave
life.
us the choice. So
Wow.
Yes, right. Dante,
That's
I,
deep.
I know you quiet behind there, baby, but I just want to know how it feels and what's your feeling on feeling these footsteps, which of your dad, and I don't know exactly what your background is. If you can kind of
yeah.
brief us up on that, and what's moving you forth into what your dad is putting out here for the lighthouse. Come on, talk to me a little bit.
Well, years ago, Pops came up with this idea, and he needed someone to come in and be the manager of the house. And I thought about it. I came back home, and I told him I'll do it. So I moved down here. I was also going to college at the time, so and it's right around the corner from the college. So I thought that was
Okay.
pretty,
Hmm.
you know.
So how you feel about these footsteps? I mean, what's your motivation?
Uh, my motivation is, um, you know, I'm not really a people's person, so whatever, whatever I can do to help out the kingdom
Come on,
in
son.
in my way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Mm.
I came out here to help my father, and that's the way that I can help the kingdom through my father. Because I don't think I'd be able to do something like this myself. So yeah, that's kind of where that landed.
And then I just wanted to get your thoughts going. You remember how when I first came home and I was fearful. Yeah, y'all probably didn't know that, but how God connected me with the Captive Project, which was a discipleship program, and how we used to do the outreaches, and y'all would come in and help us do the outreaches and all of those things. How has that kind of been a root to motivate you to even enter into ministry? Because back then y'all wasn't serving or full time ministry. You're a full time ministry now, a generation
Hmm.
ministry, right? That when I'm gone, you's the man. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So in what ways did going out into the community, we preaching the gospel, we serving the community, we doing all of these things in order to bring forth the kingdom? In what ways did that impact?
Um, like I said, I'm not a people's person. So when you got out and we went to the captive, or you went to the captive and brought us along, it allowed me to experience everybody that was there because it wasn't only you that had children. It was like everybody else had children, and they brought their families along to serve the community and through outreaches, and I served with them through the outreaches, so that yeah, that allowed me to experience more than just my family who's trying to serve.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
But
that's
Dante,
Hmm.
let me ask you this. What is I know that you said that you're more introverted and that you're not such a people person. But I kind of think that you are because you're there on a day-to-day basis. Walk us through what it's like for you dealing with the different people in the lighthouse, and they're dealing with their different personalities, and just kind of walk us through that.
Well, we get different people here every so often, and dealing with the different personalities is like how you would meet different people at an event. So long as they ain't acting negative or they ain't against you, all is well. And since they're here, we all know what we're here for. So uh, we all kind of come together under literally one roof and uh, serve however way we can.
yeah.
Mhm.
I you
Love
know
it.
I
Love it.
I wanna take you back because this is a bit of a traumatic situation because again we do get different people and it's just not peaches and cream because some cats will present themselves as buying into the kingdom of God and wanting to,
Okay.
but then when they get outside it becomes something totally different, right? They get their
Hmm.
they want to do their own thing and not stay in line with God's process of discipleship. And so we've had to kick out guys and we've had to say, hey brother, well maybe this isn't gonna work for you. But I wanted to talk about because this is something that happened. and just get your insight on the son, because I know I just like to pull it out of you because you got so much in you. But when we got the brother Aaron, you know what I mean, who ended up overdosing here, right, after
Wow.
being here. Now this brother was a brother that we actually walked with for about 2 years in a place here in
Wow.
Milwaukee, called the House of Correction. And what that is it's a prison, but it's not in Milwaukee. It's about 20 minutes outside of Milwaukee. And I had to walk with this guy for 2 years. And he had told me, because we were in there doing a live event, and he had told me that he would that essentially that he would connect with us. He was a white brother who was into music, and so when we came in representing the Christian arts, doing what we do in the neighborhood as an event to present the gospel, he said that he would get with me. And sure enough, 2 years later, I got a call from the chaplain out there that said, yeah, he wants to get with you, and we're going to drive right up to the lighthouse. And the same day that I got the call, and so he came through and was trying to reacclimate, or hadn't seen his family, was in need of a job, ended up getting a job, was excited about the job. We wanted to celebrate with him. And so he got hired on Thursday. He got all of his things that he needed for the job on Friday, and then throughout the weekend, it was kind of like him trying to. Because sometimes when you coming from a background where you celebrated a certain way, or you had a
Mm-hmm.
different mindset, and now you're out and you're free to go back to those things if you choose. It's always a choice. And I think these brothers sometimes get into a space where they want to celebrate the joys of life now that they are on this side, and sometimes they don't know how to do that. And so he
Mm.
ended up unfortunately reverting back to his addiction over the weekend.
Mm.
That
Wow.
Monday, when he was supposed to go to work, at 9 o'clock on Monday, my son found him overdosed in the bathroom here. And so I just
Oh,
brought that up
wow.
because I know that was traumatic for him. But
Yeah.
in that situation, I bring it up because even in that situation, he was a leader in the house, and he was the one that went up even after they removed him out of the house, because he passed, behind that. My
Wow.
son remained here, and he went in and cleaned up the area, and maintained, the peace in the home. So I just wanted to bring that up. Any
Wow.
thoughts on
Wow.
that? What are your thoughts on that?
Uh, yeah.
It's traumatic. Ooh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Uh, I remember needing to use the bathroom. Couldn't all morning because he was in there, and I just and I knocked on the door and called out to him, Aaron, you still in there? And no answer. So begrudgingly, I opened up the door and just slumped over, gone.
Wow.
Body was purple, pale, and yeah, I knew then that it wasn't no resuscitating him. So that's why I called
Wow.
my dad, and yeah,
Yeah.
That's
So
traumatic. That's
Wow.
crazy. Wow.
Very much so.
And I bring that up because those are the things that we think about in terms of like why we must consistently, choose life over death. The minute that we begin to get distracted and revert back to that old mindset, things like that can happen. And
Yeah.
so I bring that out because again, it's just not a one-time choice, but it's a daily choice to live
Wow.
right. And who defines right? It's a daily choice to live right. And who defines right? But the righteous one, God, right? And so we go back
Right.
and learn how to live right, how to live in His presence. God is always here. He's the audience of one, right? So even if
Right.
Wow.
I'm here and my son's not here, we are always in the presence of God, and so that should determine the choices that we make, the decisions that we make. And so I just want to just admonish the
Wow.
listeners and those that even on my page, as I shared on my page, that even for those that may not have been to prison, discipleship is modeling what it looks like to know and understand God, and know that you're always in His presence, and that He is using you. God said, if you don't, I won't. He's using you
Mm.
Yeah.
to reach someone,
Jesus.
right? right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Wow.
imperative that we understand that we must be those that are dwelt with His Spirit, led by His Spirit, because we're walking in His Spirit, meaning that He is president, not me. And
Mm-hmm.
Right.
the war does rage within each and every one of us. But the more we surround ourselves with brothers who can hold us accountable to our profession of faith, as long as we're going to the house of worship where there's accountability there, and you're seeing others that are modeling what they believe, um, I believe that we are on the right track to do what God has called us to do and fulfill our purpose.
Yes.
Wow. I'm in awe. You know why? Because not only are y'all utilizing, what y'all situation is, y'all using the love of God to
That's
to
right.
help transform these people. Of course, most of the times when you're doing the NAs and AAs and stuff, they don't really want you to put religion on it. They want you to be, because everybody's not Christians or whatever. But I could I so happy that y'all utilizing the Christianity to help out,
Mm-hmm.
because it all starts right from there. No matter how everyone feels, we can all look at it as, well, we don't, everybody's not into God and things like that, but we do know there's a God of our own understanding, and the God that is, and the person that you is Jesus Christ. And I'm in awe with y'all. I'm so honored to get to know y'all. We're
Yeah.
looking forward to coming to, to, was it
We are.
Missouri? We're in there. We're gonna get in there. We're
Wisconsin.
looking in
Come on.
Wisconsin to get there, and I want to bring what's in the bag to y'all so we can
Yeah.
actually do some
Oh, that'd be
interviews and
nice.
talk to all the brothers that comes and get out there on the streets and talk to the people
Mm-hmm.
that y'all actually are helping, and because this right here is what ministry is about. You said
Mm-hmm.
discipleship is ministry, and what we're doing is we're trying to bring the ministry through not only just the churches, but through the social media platforms where we're not judgmental. It's about understanding that we all have a bag, even though we might have different bags, the contents of our bags may be similar,
Oh
and
yeah.
we can
Mm-hmm.
bring forth those similar things to come with to unity and unite and come together as one.
Right.
Whether you're a man, woman, boy, or girl, I'm in awe with you bringing your son on, because now he understands what having addictions or having
Mm-hmm.
jail, being in prison. He understands it, not walking through it, but he understands it through the people that he comes in contact with. And I
Yeah.
love that about this. And a lot of the brothers need to come on and understand that maybe we'll have a lot more people not dealing with the
Yeah.
drugs and not going to jail, and understanding love and compassion for each other, needing fathership. And we need women too. We need this for women
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe one
Yeah.
day somebody will pick up that chain and do it for the women as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But we will find out. That would be something that we look into. I'm in
Yeah.
Absolutely.
awe with each and every one of y'all, for y'all stories. I know it was not a long time, but if you want to come empty your bag, you want to come back on.
Absolutely.
Daryl, Terrence,
Absolutely.
if y'all want to come and start talking about your bag and emptying your bag and helping some other people out here, I'm
Yeah.
welcoming it. It would be
We
Well,
would
such
love
a
to have you
pleasure.
guys back
Yes,
again.
we would
I,
love to have each
what
one of
I'm
y'all back individually.
what I'm gonna do is,
Mhm.
like I said last time I was here, I got, I'm we we well connected with the network of ministries and people doing various things, not just prison ministry, but from
Mhm.
everything from prayer to care, to wellness to well-being. All of that stuff is happening here in the
Love
city,
it.
and we have an infrastructure, if you will, of ministries of brothers and
Love
sisters
it.
from the suburban and urban churches working together. So
Mm.
would be beautiful to just introduce you all to the network here, and then you can hear these different stories because they're powerful, and it's just the picture of God
Wonderful.
working. I'm working with ministries right now that are addressing family dysfunction, addictions, foster care, uh,
Mm.
Wow.
fatherlessness. My guy Bo. Bold Brotherhood. He's working with the teens and starting the ministry that's addressing fatherlessness. Mercedes, he's a Hispanic brother that was a prominent member of the Hispanic gang on the south side here in Milwaukee, and now he's back home.
Wow.
20 years starting a church as well as a ministry
Wow.
that focuses on
Wow.
addictions and all of those things. So these are the individuals that I love to introduce you guys to. So you guys
Yes.
see that it's just not one leg, but God is doing amazing things, and He has planted His presence in the city, and it's a myriad
Yes.
of things that God is doing. And so
Love it.
it's time out for just saying it. We got to walk it out. I think the
Yes.
Yes.
modeling
Yes.
modeling what God is doing is what draws an individual. God didn't say. In fact, Jesus came talking to the religious folk, and
Yes.
and then the Great Commission was that we would go introducing them into the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He said,
Yeah.
teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you.
Yes.
Yes.
They're gonna learn from watching you be obedient,
Mm.
right? So
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's an indictment on us. We gotta really be. It's no longer for playing church. It's no longer for being religious. It's about really taking God at His word and showing that you believe Him or trust that
Yes.
His word is the truth by doing what He told us to do. And so
That's
that's
right.
up to us with walking in redemption and going back and repairing some of the breaches that we might have destroyed when we was on the other side glorifying the evil one. So that's
Mm.
what
Yes. And
um
that's what Jesus taught. He taught. That's what
Yes.
his discipleship was. He walked there. He fed the
Mm.
people. He healed the people. You know,
Mm.
he worshiped with the people. He gave
yeah,
them
Mhm.
knowledge. He showed them love. He showed them compassion. Everything that you are doing, you're actually patterning your the whole lighthouse, the whole thing
Yeah,
you
the
got
whole
is patterned
program
the
after.
whole
Yeah.
program is after Jesus. And I love
Yes.
that. I love the way you're doing
Mm.
it. I'm in awe, and I'm awe with the legs that you're bringing
Yes.
forth with each one of these people and bringing from the beginning to the end. And congratulations! I found out that today is not only that he's getting married, but today
It's
is
his
his
birthday.
birthday.
yeah,
Happy
yeah,
birthday to everyone that's here. Give him a birthday love. We love birthdays. Birthday getting older and getting wiser, and all the things that you've done, you can utilize that to become more greater. I'm just in awe with
Mm-hmm.
this whole program. I'm in awe with everything you're
He's
doing.
down in the cut somewhere over in the corner.
Right.
You
Getting
guys just
high
continue
or
to do what
right.
you're doing, and
Yes.
because not only are you guys doing such a marvelous thing, you guys are also breaking generational curses.
oh,
Yes.
Frank, everything that you're doing and mentoring your son and having your son walk upright. Daryl, you getting ready to get married. Terrence with the Malachi program and so on and so forth that you guys got going on. Continue it because I see those generational curses are being broken, and it's something that is so needed, so important, and everything. And the work that you guys are doing, you guys may not get all the accolade and all the and all the glory behind it, but I see it and
Yeah.
it means a lot.
It's
And
not the
I'm gonna say this
accolades of the
too.
man.
Yeah,
It's the accolades of
yeah,
God. He's giving it to them. They
that's
getting
it.
all the accolades they need.
People coming people coming out of the system, transitioning out of the system,
Yeah.
they need this type of support. And I have to say this really quickly. My dad went to prison at an early age, and he made a promise to himself that he was never going to go back. And when he came out, he had a support system that was
yeah,
there that helped him to reestablish himself on this side of the tracks. And he never looked back, never went back. So continue to do what you're doing. I think it's something that's well
Yeah.
deserved.
Yeah. I
that,
mean,
that,
my bag is full too. I ain't even gonna say I've been in the jail house a few times. And
what?
I ain't been to prison, but I know understand
Come
that
on,
there's a
come on,
consequence for all your actions. Okay. So what
Yes.
I'm like I said, your bag might be. Yeah, we might have different bags, but our bags have some similar content in it. Believe it or not, the drug addiction and all that stuff. So
right?
I'm just in awe with y'all, and I appreciate y'all. I hate the fact that it's 10 o'clock already. We
I
already
know.
went over the time. I just want to just go ahead on and give out your email address,
Yeah,
just in case anyone want to get in contact with you and maybe want to talk to you. See, maybe if they're in their neck of woods, they can open up and start
Yeah.
opening up uh, um,
yeah.
facility like that. You
And
go ahead on and tell them. Go ahead.
also would say that for those that might reach out through the email, we're doing what's called a walking newsletter. So what that is that we come out and we cast our vision, our mission with one of the light keepers that will give a testimony as well, and then you get the opportunity to partner with us, whether it's prayer, financially, or just partnering. Period. That we
Yep.
offer there and that. So if that's something you want to do, no matter where you're at, give me an email. Let's work it out.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. And yeah, they even got a website that don't want to come up. I don't know why my thing is coming. It's hiding. They got a website. I'm gonna throw that up there too. Go ahead on and talk about that. You got a group. That's you know what? I really admire you. I admire everything you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Zach, which which we need to start opening back be open because this is where the category of where be open is where
Mm-hmm.
you can bring your addictions and understanding to take the what he said the how I say it, Von, anonymity out
Anonymity.
of it. Anonymity. I keep messing up anonymity out of it. We actually looking forward to bringing it. I always mess that word up. Anonymity. Whatever.
Oh,
I
mess.
love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And we're gonna go ahead on and get on out of here. I need anyone that haven't seen the
First
segment from
segment.
last week, the first segment. Go ahead back and look at the first segment, get all
Check
the
it out.
information down there, and then look come, and y'all really get a better understanding where Frank is going and where he is at this moment in time. And I'm praying to God that he even go even further. He goes from land to nations to cities to state because this is bigger than us.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
need this everywhere. We need to know that we have some type of backup plan when we release out of prison. You know, a prison is just a place, but the real prison is the
That's
mind.
right. That's
And
right.
when you can
Mm-hmm.
work on that mind and take the prison out of the mind, it makes it
Right.
easier for you to deal with what's going on in this
That's right.
world.
Right.
Because this world prison you with situations like from birth
Yeah.
you get to that point where they tell you how you're supposed to think, where you're supposed to go, how you're supposed to love, how you're supposed to
Right.
care. You learn to keep things in that you need to release. And then when you
Right.
find that you can't do these things, you start looking to drugs and you're looking for other places to put it. And then your life is all out of hand. And then you wind up in prison. You trying to be somebody you ain't. We can go on and on. But then when you got a place like this to go to get at least understanding on how to deal with life and how to cope with things and with all kinds of different people from different places, it's
Accountability.
just an awe. I
Yeah.
love it, the accountability of it. I love it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm telling you, I met y'all through Zach. I met y'all just through what's in the bag, and I already got love for you, baby. You
Yeah.
have a wonderful birthday, Daryl. You
Thank
have
you.
Yeah.
you deserve it. You deserve it. I mean,
Yeah.
thank God for you. And we got to
Yeah.
get off of here because I'll talk all
Yeah.
day.
Thank you.
I
I
love
love it.
y'all.
I love it. Thank y'all
Y'all,
guys
we
for
will
having
be
us
talking
again.
again.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be
Yes.
back. Bye, y'all. Thank
Thank
y'all
you,
so
guys.
much for
Right.
being a
God
part. And
bless you.
we
God
don't
bless
go
you.
nowhere yet. Just stay
Okay.
in the back.
I'll be
Okay?
here.
Stay in the back. All right. See you soon, y'all. Give them some love, y'all.
Yeah.
All
And let
right,
me say this
Vaughn.
to you guys. Let me say this to you guys really quickly. You guys got all of their information. I'm gonna do a call to action on this one. 5, 10, $20, $30 can go a long way with the lighthouse. If you guys don't want to send cash, go to the Dollar Tree and put together some care packages and send them out. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, things of that nature. 10, 20, 30, 40, $50. You think about it, $50 will take and provide toiletries for 50 people. If you take and
Right.
look at it from that standpoint, from that mindset. You guys have his information. Go to the website, email him, and he'll give you the information on where to send these things. These things can go a long, long way. This is part of
Yeah.
what we do here. It's an outreach for us as well. Reach out, support, be supportive within the community. Help this brother and the men that come through the lighthouse help this program to grow. This is something that is truly, truly needed so that we have, when people come back into society, we have less of them returning back to the system that they just left.
Yeah. And you know what they say, you sow good seeds and you get great harvest. You sow the
That's right.
seeds now, if you're sowing seeds that where they belong in good soil, you definitely gonna get a great harvest. So you sow that seed now, and you'll see maybe somebody in your family needs something like this, or this program will come into your neighborhood. And if it don't come into your neighborhood, maybe God will give you the desire to open one up yourself. We never know. So we asking now, if you want to sow a seed, so reach out, let them know that, you know what, we're here to help as much as we can. It starts with one person at a time. You might not
Mm-hmm.
see it right now in your neighborhood, but it may in their neighborhood, so they can sow. It all gonna flourish. It all comes to pass. We thank
Mm-hmm.
y'all. We appreciate y'all. God bless y'all, and have a wonderful day. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, listen, everybody. Us up today, and he allowed you guys just like us to come on and learn more about Lighthouse. What a wonderful day. And any time that God wakes us up and give us another chance, something amazing. So as always, stay blessed, be a blessing, and have a blessed day. Love you guys and can't wait to see you guys
Love y'all.
next.
Have a great day. See you next Saturday. Boo.